what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch Transformers review, where today FC Finch stands for Fashionably Late Finch. That's right, because today on the table we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers masterpiece, official masterpiece, that's right, MP-57 Skyfire. You know, the bot that everybody reviewed like 4 months ago, but here I am down the road. But hey, you know what, better late than never, and who doesn't want to hear yet another opinion on MP-57? And actually, you know, to be completely fair, my Starscream review, and again, I'm a small-time reviewer, so I pick my battles and I take my small victories. You know, my Starscream review, which Starscream came out, what, like 2 years ago, has 500 views. So I mean, it's like people are still interested, people still care. But either way, anyway, we're gonna have some fun with it. We're gonna take a look at it, and yeah. So now I'm probably gonna have to. When I edit this thing, I edit in pieces, but this thing is so damn huge that it takes over my entire goddamn table. So we are going to have to real quick. In fact, let me see if I can move. Let's start off with the box now, real quick. I already did the box. I'm gonna take Skyfire off the table here, or Jetfire, whatever you want to call them. I don't know the whole change of the names or anything like that, but I already took an in-depth look at this box and the instructions, so I'm not gonna look at the instructions. I did the unboxing. I'll put a link in the description down below. That would have dropped like 2 or 3 days before this, depending on when this is scheduled. So there we go. And so right in the front we have a nice product shot of Skyfire and Takara Tommy not pushing any punches or anything. They're showing the whole product there. You got him in robot mode, him in jet mode. Turning on the side, you got him in his Gerwalk mode with the little characters. You got all the product shots on the back and stuff like that. And there you go, all his little accessories. And on the other side you have Skyfire doing heroic Skyfire things, and then you have a bunch of stuff in a language I cannot read. Transformers masterpiece, and then on the top, Transformers masterpiece. So that is it for the box. All right, so let's talk about MP-57 Skyfire. Wow, what a long time coming. So straight away, we're going to get to something that I said in the unboxing. In fact, the first thing that took me aback in the unboxing is just how big this guy is. This guy is, look at that, 16 inches from stem to stern, roughly. Actually, he's about 16 and a half. Holy poop. Just absolutely huge. And so yeah, let's get in close and take a look. Again, really nice. I love the dark blue transparent plastic on the glass when it really makes it pop. The white appears to be a mixture of paint on some surfaces and just plastic on others. Honestly, it's done so well I can't tell which ones. He does have kind of some gaps here, but again, you know, here's the thing. I'm not crazy about Jetfire, and so he's not even an Earth jet. So how do I know he didn't have gaps here during the animation? I mean, seriously, we're talking about, like, you know, G1 animation. So I really, it does not bug me. Bottom, again, he's a jet former, and one of the better jet formers, in my opinion. I mean, he cleans up pretty well. Again, you have some nice reds on the legs. I believe this is paint done really good. It looks really sharp. Same thing with the back here. And then you got a nice stripe around the boosters. You have this kind of looks like textured gray in there. You got some stripage on the wings. Looks really good. Same thing with the other wing. Just, yeah, really nice, vibrant colors. I mean, just absolutely, just it's very, like, you know, he's without being loud, he is subtly awesome, let's say, just because of the vibrant colors. I didn't do it. I hear sirens outside, so that's why I said I didn't do it. Then of course you got some nice vintage in here. Really nice, nicely done for that as well. So yeah, overall, I mean, just massive. And I'm like starting to kind of tire out just holding him. He's so freaking huge. So we're gonna set him down. So there we go. And real quick, we're gonna go over some of his features in jet mode. Just a couple. We're gonna wait till later to go over a few more because there's a really nice little surprise. Let me center the camera up a little bit. So the first thing I want to go over real quick is the camera is you do have these little posable ailerons here. They only go down about a click, but you know, I mean, again, they're really small, but you know, I guess you kind of get a little pose in there, a nice little lift off pose. Another thing that he does have is collapsible landing gears, and it's very nicely done. Just kind of looks like those 747 aircraft landing gears. And you just push this back in, close this up for the rear, and there you go. And to pull it back out, you just pull this open, and you gotta kind of get your finger there. I used a spudger sometimes, and there you go. And then of course for the front, you have these two opening flaps right here. You can just push this in, and then you can push this out, and you can kind of close these up, and there you go. So that is how you open that. And yeah, one thing I do want to point out about the landing gear, of course, he will roll, just not, of course, it's my table, and that's kind of hindering him. And also the rear landing gear like to kind of flow up, so I kind of wish they came down from the back, but it is what it is. It is a nice, cool gimmick. I'm really not going to display them like this, so it is not really a heartache nevertheless. All right, so let's talk about his accessories, and we're going to kind of touch on some. We're going to go through in depth on others, because guess what? Everything really kind of has a use in this mode. I mean, yeah, you can pretty much use a lot of his robot accessories. I think just about all of them in flight mode. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through his gun. So his gun is very G1, very lacking detail. It is a very big rifle. This is like what? I think. Hold on. Let's get a scale measurement. This thing's like 5 inches long. It's just such a huge gun. And again, painted in a very nice gunmetal gray. The handle can rotate down just like that for when he uses robot mode, but since he's using it in flight mode, we'll leave it like this. Oh, I almost dropped it. And he can store this on him in a number of ways. The first way being, you see that you have these two tab slots on the side here, and you see right here you have kind of a spot between the legs, and what you do is you just push it in just like this. Takes a little bit of oomph. Oh, there we go. And his gun will fit in just like that. And yeah, and this can, if you just put him down like this, he will still roll just, if I could put down his other landing gear, he will still roll just fine with the gun under him. Of course, he doesn't roll too well on this table. Another thing you can do is, let's say you want to actually have him shooting the gun. You gotta watch it there. Let's say you actually want to actually have the gun being kind of used in fighter mode. You can pop this open right here, and you have these little spots, and you have these pegs right here. Excuse me, this peg right here. Just why to use this one, and this can go like that, and now he has his gun on the jet in the most kind of a ridiculous fashion. I don't think he ever did this in the show, but hey, if you want to put it there, you totally can. And hey, what is a gun without some good blast effects? He's got these nice blast effects. They are done in a nice transparent-ish orange. They look very, very good, and you can plug these into the gun barrel. Now, you notice it is a double-barreled gun. However, when you try to plug in both of these, you'll notice that you could, but it kind of gets, I don't know, that kind of looks cool. I can kind of see that. So, but yeah, you can't really get them both in, and just watch out, because they do like to pop off the cup if you have them like that. Or if you don't want to put them there at all, what you can do is, yes, these fit in the boosters. You just put them in right dead center. They fit nice and firmly, and he can blast off into outer space. And additionally, let's talk about the greatest accessory of all. He does come with his flight stand. Some assembly required, because all flight bots should come with flight stands. And again, it's the same flight stand that's you get with MP-52 and his cronies. I might have to raise the whatchagigger here, the camera. And you get this nice transparent plastic piece, these kind of dual prongs. And where this plugs in, let's move this out of the way. You have the two prong slots under here, so you can just plug this in right under there. It fits in nice and firmly, just like that. And then let's raise the camera. Oh, you gotta plug it in. It's closed off on one side, so you got to plug it in. Only really goes one way. And you plug it in like that, and yeah, and there you go. Now you can have Jetfire flying off into space. And oh, let's plug this in so he does look more cohesive like that. And yeah, that looks absolutely business-like. Moving on, he does come with some interchangeable faction symbols. Yes. Oh, but I got the Decepticon there. See, I'm an Autobot fan, so it just goes to show how much I love the Autobots. I'll bring the Decepticon symbol upside down. But yeah, he comes. So you can, of course, remove his Autobot logo if you do like, because of course, if we remember in Fire in the Skies, the Decepticons, his buddy Starscream convinced him to be a Decepticon first. Or of course, you could have him also be neutral. They have a regular white, and what you can do is this is more for robot mode, but you can change it. You just pull this up, and you can pull this up, and this the Autobot logo slides right out, and you can put the Decepticon one. Gotta make sure that it slides right in. You got these two kind of rails on either side, and you just slide that right on, and you could just have them like that in jet mode if you so desire. I'll keep the Autobot one on them, but hey, you know, things that you can do if you so desire. And real quick, we're gonna move on to some stuff. Now, he does come with some alternate faces. I'm not gonna go through them here, but I am gonna show you something really cool. Let me put his Autobot logo back on. This is just absolutely too cool. So first things first. There we go. So first things first, you can give him his alternate G1 mode, if you so, or not G1, I should say, his G1 toy mode. So what you got to do here is you just kind of part the Red Sea, if you will, and you can bring this up. This also comes up just like that, and what you can do, let me bring this up real quick so we can see what I'm doing here. What you can do is you can bring this down on this hinge here like this, and then you bring this over on this hinge so this sits like that, and then you can bring this down and close this up, and there you have his G1 toy look, like I believe it's like the Macross Veritech that he's based off of or whatever. And hey, while we're under here, if you want some storage, this guy stores everything. So what you can do is let's open this back up, because we got some stuffs to go over. You have a couple pegs right here, and you have some square spots right here and right here. So what you can do is you can take the Decepticon logo, and we can put it right along here. Let me bring up the camera just a bit. The faces, we're not going to go through the faces. You'll see they have this peg on here, and you could just plug those in right like that. Same thing with the other face. And then, of course, you have his battle mask that you can plug right along. I apologize, the tab is right here. So you got a little tab right up there that plugs in like that. And then, of course, you can plug in his blank faction symbol. Launching stuff at me. Anyway, that'll give me a good chance to re-show this. So you got a tab right here, and you could just post his battle mask. Of course, it's fighting me on camera. And there we go. So now you can basically start, and this is just sit with him in robot mode too. So now we can close this up, and yeah, so hey, you don't have to keep everything in the box if you don't want. His equipment all stores on him in jet and robot mode. So there you go. And moving on to our final accessories, and I say that with quote unquote because these things are actually minifigures. Look at that. So you get a mini Optimus Prime, we get a mini Jazz, we get a mini Wheeljack with a little suitcase, and this is just absolutely super cool. Now, they are pretty much all the same on articulation, so I'm just going to go with, through Optimus Prime, and here we'll put Mr. Jazz hands right there next to Mr. Wheeljack, and I think it's cool because these are like three of my favorite Transformers. They included the best ones, and of course they do have the head, of course, is immobile. The arms are on a ball joint. They can go all the way around. They can go out like that. They can, and then of course they do have a hinge at the elbow, so you can get well above 90 degrees. That is pretty cool. No movement in the hands, of course. There is nothing at the waist, and of course he can do a little bit back. He could do a nice mega fusion kick. Look at that lift. And then of course he can only go out about that far, and then of course he does have a bend at the knee. So actually pretty cool, and again pretty nice detailing for the figure. And just nice, really nicely painted, nicely appointed. Look at that, just like fully painted. Just looks really good. Let's get a better look at Jazz and Wheeljack. So again, we got Jazz right here, and yeah, I mean that face looks like you see a little visor in his face. It's so cool. And oh wow, they even went to the trouble to paint the windshield and the stripe on that. That is awesome. That is great. Oh, look at that. They molded in the wheels. That is bomb bad. I even like how they had the little baby blue for the lights on his forward chest. And of course we have Wheeljack, nice little Wheeljack face. It actually looks pretty, looking really good. Got the nice little light blue or like grayish blue for the wings and whatnot. Again, from the back, a little bit open in the legs, but that's okay. He's a minifigure. And then they got the decals just right. I mean, that's just absolutely cool looking right there. So, and what you could do is you can actually do a number of things with these guys. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, the bottom does open, so you could have him kind of with his bottom bay open, so you can kind of make little dioramas with these guys. They're really only good in the vehicle mode for Jetfire, or if you want, you can open the cockpit, and we can put Mr. Jazz in here, and he can fly, and Mr. Jetfire, and there we go. And then of course if we want, we can open up this bay right here. I forget, it might be a bit hard to fit. Yeah, Prime doesn't fit in some of these. Prime is a bit too big to fit inside Skyfire, but you can put Wheeljack in there, and we gotta motion his arm just the correct way. And you can put Wheeljack in there, and he'll sit in there just fine. Or you can open up the back compartment on the legs, and you can seat. That's got enough room to seat Mr. Jazz comfortably. You could shut that there, and so yeah, so again, lots of display ability options for Skyfire and the characters. Obviously, again, the characters only for the robot mode, the jet mode. He look a bit goofy. He look like he has little toys in robot mode, but just, I mean, again, it's things I only can use once, but I still think it's absolutely too cool. So yeah, and there you go for that. And for a very quick vehicular comparison, let's bring in our standard form of comparativity, and we're going to bring in MP-18 Streak, and yeah, there you go. And yeah, I mean, it's not in scale because obviously Jetfire is freaking huge. I mean, it comes with freaking minifigures for crying out loud, but yeah, I mean, you know, it looks believable. I mean, again, it's just massive freaking space jets. So yeah, and there you go, just a quick comparison. So that should about cover it for jet mode. And phew, wow, this guy has a lot to go over, but nevertheless, we are done. So let us start the transformation process. Now, again, just like similar to the MP-52s, he does come with a Gerwalk mode, but if you remember, he did actually use this in the series, and I was just watching this damn episode, I forget which one it was, but he does do it in the series. TM Reviews posted a picture of it, so we can put him in Gerwalk mode too. I'm never going to display him in Gerwalk mode because I don't care about it, but we're just going to transform it like that anyway, because why not? Now, he is a bit easier to put into Gerwalk mode than the MP-52s, because you don't have to deal with stupid like fins on the back. Why do you need? You don't need those if you're a spacecraft. That's why Skyfire is awesome. So we'll just start off with folding in the landing gear instead. We don't need these anymore. We'll fold those in. We will open these up at the front. Open this up, push this in, and shut these. So now he is in spacecraft mode. And then what we'll do is we will untab these from the rear. Same thing with the other side. And we can just kind of bring these down just like this. And then what you can do is you can open this up and extend the leg just like that. And you notice you have a tab right here. I got the wings all over, and you can just shut that in just like that. Same thing with the other side. You can just open this up, tab right here, shut that just like that. And then what we can do is we can bring out the feet just like it. They're in a nice beefy ratchet. You can bring the heel out. It just hides right in there. Same thing for the other side. Bring that out. And then if we want, we can kind of, he actually did kind of land just like this. And so there we have, let me back him out. There we have MP-57 Skyfire in his Gerwalk mode. And there you go. So now that we've got this Gerwalk stuff out of our system, let us continue with the transformation. So now what we're going to do is we can kind of bring the wing out real quick. There should be a tab right about back here. Actually, it's kind of this tiny little thing, I think. Mine, for some reason, it never really tabbed right back in, but it still kind of forms flush. And then, of course, you have a tab right up here. So what we're going to do is we are going to kind of open this. It doesn't feel as right at front, and there we go. You can see the tab right there. And then what we're going to do is you kind of have to move this assembly down. And what that did is that unlocked right here. It should be out like this. There you go. And that unlocks this right here. So now we can take the arm. Yeah, you can see the arm is hiding in his back. And you can bring this, just fold this down just like that. And now you can see you have two tabs here on the arm. You have a tab here, and you can just bring the arm up just like that. There you go. And then you can bring this over to here, and now we can flip the arm around. Let me lower the camera a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Well, I'm not breaking my back. And we can kind of fold the hand out. You kind of got to rotate it to make sure that it can clear. And we can fold the hand out just like that. And you can kind of leave this open for now. And then if we let's turn the hand around. And there we have an arm all done on one side. And this arm is going to be just like this one. So now we got this kind of monstrosity going on, and yeah, you can do the Gerwalk mode with his arms out and all that. If you want to watch TM reviews, I don't care about it. So I mean, we already know how to get his arms out. You just close these panels back up, and boom, you're there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring you can just kind of straighten out his legs. We're good. We don't need to relock this up. Same thing with the other side. Bring this just like that, and then you could kind of bring this down just like that. Bring these down because we're going to need ourselves some clearance. And now let's get his head visible. So the first thing I want to do is there's this little over-under tab, and that just untabs just like that. You got to kind of watch his head real quick. And then what we could do is we can bring this piece, and what we're doing is you're pulling this down, and as you're doing that, you have this plate back here. See, so this plate comes up like this. You're just going to push this in just like that. And then we kind of bring this all the way back just like that. And hey, there's his face. Look at that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open this up at the top. There we go. Give ourselves the clearance. And we're going to kind of bring the jet front down. Ooh. Missed a step. Push this in, otherwise it's not going to clear his face. And he's like, oh, I know, I have the other face on there. Yeah, now you know that the magic of editing. Make sure that the hips are all the way out, by the way. You can see they close in. Make sure that they're all the way out. And what you're going to do is you have a tab in the bottom of the nose cone, and you're going to tab it right into there. There we go. So now he's looking just like that. Let me bring the camera down just a little bit. So now we have that going on. So let's continue work on the upper body. So let's just close this up right back here. And what you're going to do is you'll notice that you have two tabs right back here, and then you have a tab right over here. How do you get this here, you may ask? If you open this up, what we're going to do is you kind of grab this section right here. You can see this extends all the way out. And now you can see that this tab is going to line up right here, and you can kind of bring this up. You kind of have to, remember, you kind of have to move the arm out of the way to do this. And it's kind of hard to show. Of course, it goes back. You do got to watch out for that. It's kind of hard to show. And there you go. That is one side done. And then you could put the arm back. So same thing for the other side. Kind of move the arm out of your way. Pull this out. Get this situated. And... oh. There you go. And you can kind of put this back, set this in, and if the hips haven't already somehow pushed themselves in, you just push them right back in just like that. And yeah, so there we have basically his upper body and his legs all set out, and the rest of the work is going to be all on his behind. So now we're going to work on his backpack. Oh, knocked the camera. And so what we're going to do is this is really just a operation of moving all kinds of stuff up and closing stuff in and crushing stuff in. So what we're going to do is firstly, we're going to untab this. And also one thing I want to make note of is if you didn't already have him in this little gap mode, you want to just fold this in just like we previously did. So it's looking just like that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to fold this back right here. And you got to get it past all these tabs. And you can see the only downside of this is it really starts moving up on us. So now what we're going to do is you'll kind of see the backpack is on this like slider. You just want to slide this thing all the way up. And at the same time, you want to keep it open. You'll notice it has two side-to-side sliders right here. You want to keep these open until we're finished doing what work we need to do. Next up, you want to take the wings and you want to slide them all the way up. And notice it reveals this white area. And additionally for the other side. And now what we're going to do is these slots, these white pegs have to go all the way up on these slots. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to close this up and make sure that this area covers this white and red area. So what we're going to do is just like that. See how it's covering just like that. And you'll notice that the white is going all the way up, just like it's all the way up. And now what we can do is we can actually close these up just like that, and it should all clip nice together all firmly. And additionally, we can push the boosters in just like that, and now we can fold this in just like this. You kind of got to snake it in just like that. And next, for our final trick, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the wings. We're going to bring the wings up. Got to get the arm out of the way. And you're just going to fold the wing in just like that. Same thing for the other side. Going to bring the wing up. Again, you got to get out of the way of the arms and fold it in just like that. And you can kind of arrange this right here. And I think that is it. I think we are good. And like magic, there we have MP-57 Skyfire by Takara Tomy in his robot mode. All right, and there we have MP-57 Skyfire in robot mode, and yeah, that is just one big beastly looking robot mode. Let us go with the ruler and or the scale, and he's just shy of 14 inches in height. That is absolutely insane. Wow. And again, this is after having the Giga Powers to mess with. So anyway, let's get a good look. So again, I honestly really like the head sculpt. I know a lot of people were talking about, like, face sculpts being kind of derpy. I don't know, between this one, this one actually looks pretty overall decent. Got some nice transparent plastic over the detailing at his head computer. We'll go over that in a bit. Painted blue eyes. Got a little bit of a dot on mine, but painted blue eyes. It's his tears. It's his tears, and a nice silver for the face. Looks like a lot. It's a combination of paint and white plastic on him, which again, it looks really good. It shows up really good. Doesn't feel cheap at all. Got some nice red right down here at the waist, and then of course his transparent blue glass really shows up really nicely. And then of course moving down to his legs, again, got some reds down here. You got the painted silver on the feet, looking good. Spin them around real quick here. Again, clean backpack. I mean, actually very clean overall. I mean, granted, I know his transformation really is by design. He's generally, I mean, all his back kibble is per the show. But again, just a really clean figure and really good looking. A nice Autobot symbol peeked out in red there. It looks really good. So yeah, again, honestly, I really, wow, what a really cool figure. Talk about his articulation. So the head is kind of on a hinge right here, so he can look all the way around, and of course he can look up like that. You can get, that's pretty much his out, or you could bring it down and look that, and you can kind of leave it up like this and kind of give him a neck, so when he's looking over here, he doesn't look like he's peeking over his shoulder from the yard. Let's see. Then of course you got you can tab these in, but if you want, you can get kind of the butterfly joint going. And then of course he does have ratcheted arms that get you all the way around. He has a swivel at the elbow, and then of course he has a double jointed elbow that gets you just like that. Also, he can get you out to the side all the way on this hinge, and then up some on this hinge. He could basically do hand touch. Let's see. Then of course the hands fully articulated. You got the thumb on a base hinge, the thumb on a base, excuse me, I didn't even show you the secondary hinge right here. And then of course the fingers have looks like a single base hinge and then a secondary hinge for each individual finger. Really well, and nice tab slots for the weapons. No, let's bring the arms out. No waist swivel to speak of. Doesn't really have an ab crunch, but what you can do is you can use these pieces right here that kind of make him look like he's ab crunching. He also has the little fins on the side here, and then of course the legs, everything on nice beefy ratchet. He holds it, goes all the way outside, does the full splits. He can do a super fusion kick for a super big guy. Look at that. And back about that card, of course. Oh, there we go. He just goes straight out with the fusion kick. I forgot I was using this joint. So, but there you go. He does have thigh swivel, kind of limited a little bit. And then, of course, he does have a full, I believe that's a full 90 degree at the elbow. You can shift this piece around depending on where it's at. So the knee joint kind of shifts around like that. And then, of course, his foot, he can get you a little bit up on a nice beefy ratchet. He can get you about 2 clicks back, and then he's got a little bit of toe. Oh yeah, that is that is on a ratchet. So there we have it for articulation. Man, I'm getting a workout because he's so freaking huge. Moving on to his accessories, and he does come with a few that translate over. Most of the stuff we've already seen for the jet mode, so he does have a few that transfer over. So of course we have his base face sculpt right here. He does come with 2 additional face sculpts, and again, I honestly really like this one and the one he has on. This is the only one that I'm kind of off about, just kind of like, ooh, it's like he's blowing you a kiss or something. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I know there's a lot of complaints about these, but I was not really all that bugged by these. So we're gonna put on the one I like the most. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come around, and again, you just kind of want to reach under this black part here, and of course his face goes flying, and he just has this peg right here. You can see a peg in back, and you can just put that on him. And there he goes. There he has his more concerned face, and of course any face that you want you can always put in his storage in his backpack for that. And then of course one other face he comes with, and this is for all the toy fanatics. He comes with, of course, his mask, his Robotech Macross mask, with a nice translucent plastic. Mine has a little nick on top that I'm not too worried. Again, I'm not going to use this. And how this mounts, this has a magnet hidden right in there, so what you can do is you can literally just slap that on, and he will wear that just fine. You can see I'm moving the head, and it's not coming off. So again, and the cool part I like about this, you can kind of see his eyes from there. It's like he's wearing a real ninja mask. So again, that is really, really cool. And then of course, if you want, you can always just swap out the symbols just like you can in jet mode. It's a bit easier in robot mode, so you can make him a Decepticon if you want. But we're gonna leave him as an Autobot. He didn't wear that Decepticon symbol for long. And of course, the last of his accessories, it shouldn't be the last, but it is. He's got his gun here that we've already gone over, and again, that just tabs in just like magic, and he'll hold that just fine. And then of course, if you want, you can give him a blast effect just like that, and that is glorious. Now the unfortunate side of this is the blast effects of the gun. He's just such a big damn robot that it doesn't really fit in my display effect. I'll display with the blast effects, so of course a little bit of sadness. And real quick before we move on, a few other things for the accessories here. So we'll put the battle mask back on, because if you want to give him the full I guess G1 toy effect, which is I guess the Macross effect anyway, you can open this up just like you did, and what you can do is it doesn't feel great because the battle mask fell off. You can set this up, just split it up just like you're going back into jet mode, and you just put this back in. It just tabs right back in on the sides right there, and then you can put his mask back on, and there he has that G1 toy. You can give him the gap in the back, and I actually do quite like the gap. I'm not going to display him with the G1 toy, but I do quite like the gap. And additionally, if you also want, you can use this port once again, and you could put the gun right on using the same tab that we did, the same peg that we did from earlier. You can either put that back like that, or you can have it pointed upwards just like that. And lastly but not leastly, if it wasn't evident enough, you can take the blast effects and also use them in the boosters the same way that you did in jet mode, so you can blast off into space. And lastly but not leastly, for his accessories, since we're going through all of them again, let's revisit the flight stand. Now, I'm gonna have to give a disclaimer here, because while this just seems so straight, cut and dry forward, there is nothing about this in these. So I'm gonna give this a solid I don't recommend, but hey, it's here, so we're gonna do it. So what we're gonna do is bring back in his flight stand and bring it back in his little two prongs. Now, real quick, previously, we noticed that the way we put up in jet mode, and we'll move up the little cockpit area, is you see these two prongs here. They're now hidden by the nose cone of the jet. However, if you bring his legs up just like this, you notice, oh, two prongs back here. What? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, and you just kind of shove the prongs up his gentleman's area, and there you go, just like that, and it fits in just like that. And now we can kind of bring this down so you can see so you can smell what I'm stepping in. You just kind of set the peg on the stand just like you did before, just like that. And let's bring this up. We want him flying. I want him flying. Broke one of the pegs off on the back. They just snap right back into place. And there you have, let's back the camera up. There you have Jetfire or Skyfire in a dynamic flight pose. And again, there's nothing about this in the instructions, but there makes no sense for those two tabs to be back there. So I don't know if they forgot. I don't know if they had some issues with testing, and because it's so heavy, it wanted to fall over, and they just said, "No, we're not going to do it." So I'm going to give this, again, I am probably going to display mine like this. So I will tell you that much. But I do not recommend this. I am not recommending this because I don't want anybody coming back saying, "Hey, FC Finch said you could do this, and now I broke my Skyfire," and so none of that. But I'm just saying that, hey, this is what's there, and hey, this is what I did, and if you want, you can do it too. You could be adventurous and test out and stuff. It looks like it's holding up fine. I did a bunch of poses that you'll see in the short that seem to hold up just fine, because obviously between pictures I left them up for 15 minutes. They seem to hold up just fine. So again, I'm gonna give this a kind of plausible. I just don't recommend it. But yeah, and again, I think this absolutely looks cool because once again, I don't see the point in incorporating a flight stand and pegs for a flight stand if I can't use the flight stand in both modes. So again, just something else that you can try and do. And one final detail to go over is a little gimmick here. So you can see is this head, you got this little life meter and whatnot, and you can just pull this open and look at that. You got this little memory circuits. Oh god, I forget what episode. I think it was Fire on the Mountain, maybe, I don't know. But you got like this little circuitry in his head. So yeah, just a nice little gimmick that they did there. So check that out. And for a couple quick robot mode comparisons, let's bring in MP-52, his buddy there, Starscream, well, his former buddy before the war all began. So there he is with the standard Seeker mold, looking pretty good. And of course, let's get him in with his Autobot buddies. Let's get him in with MP-44. In his little stance. Yes, I don't take my guys out of stances because I have them, and I really only have one of each. So there he is with a Fans Toys Jive, and there he is with a Fans Toys mini bot, and you can see how that works, and that just looks freaking cool. A nice little groove shot there. Really good look. I think he fits right in, and he looks damn good doing it. So let's summarize, and there it is for the Takara Tomy Transformers masterpiece MP-57 Skyfire. And wow, where do I begin? I'm going to start off with saying that, I got this guy a while ago, and if you've watched my channel, you know that I've had the unboxing for a few weeks up now, and just because I was really overwhelmed, like MB44 scale overwhelmed, just how much crap this guy comes with. I mean, Takara really pulled out all the stops. Again, this guy is massive. He's a sight to behold. He's weighty, has a nice feel to him. He's beautiful and vibrantly colored. The paint is gorgeous. All his colors are very rich. The accessories, mwah, I love accessories. You know I'm an accessory guy. I love all of it. In fact, my only complaint is that, especially for my display shelves, he's too freaking huge to incorporate all of his accessories. I can't have the blast effect in the gun, but that's okay. I love the fact that they got him a flight stand, which in my opinion should come standard with every robot everywhere, with every flight robot anyway. And thankfully, Takara understands this, so we got the flight stand, works great in both of them. I wish that there was something more about the instructions for using it in robot mode, because right now it kind of feels like a use at your own risk kind of deal, and if something happens, well, boo on you. We didn't say anything about it in the instructions, so that's what I'm kind of feeling there, but it seems to work out just fine. Transformation, it's fun, it's easy. I mean, how hard can he be? He's freaking Skyfire. He's like the Dinobots. Let's see, and of course he cleans up so well. Of course, that being a product of his animation model, but it's good they made the figure do the exact same thing. Jet mode, you know what? I actually like the jet mode. Some people have claimed it looks unfinished. I don't agree. It is what it is. It's a futuristic jet. What do you want? Face sculpts, honestly, the only one I don't like is the derpy happy face, but I'm seldom going to use it. All the rest of them, I honestly think they look really good. Again, this is a superb figure, an awesome effort by Takara. So yeah, I highly recommend this one. Worth every penny. Yes, that's right. I said excited. If you are okay to fork up the money for the official and don't want to go the KO, I definitely think that this is worth all $260 or $70 that they are charging. That being said, I paid this fee with Big Bad Toy Store. That's where I got this guy. You can get him there too. He is still in stock as I speak. I'm gonna put a link in the description down below, so if you want one, you can get a description of your own. You can get one of your own, then you can describe it on your own. But that being said, so definitely, if you feel the need to pick this up, I definitely do recommend it. So that being said, that is going to conclude this review. Thank you so much for sticking with me. There was a lot to cover here, and that being said, if you like this review, consider hitting the like button. Also consider subscribing to the channel. We are growing almost at 300. Woo! I love all of you. So thank you to those of you who already are subscribers to me. And that being said, I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.